Este na KUAM News Update sa presenta ni CHamoru Enterprises.
Off at Guam, here's what's making headlines for Monday, June 24th. A 6-month pause on construction of the live fire training range is what Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says she'll ask the military for, ending weeks of speculation and concerns about where she stands on the military buildup issues. Chris Barnett reports.
The call has been answered. After weeks of pushing the governor to call for a halt on construction of the live fire training range at Machinao, activists, community groups, and senators finally got what they asked for.
I have agreed to do that. Yes.
The Magahaga announcing her decision just minutes after a closed-door, invitation-only meeting with senators.
I'm going to give Admiral Chatfield the courtesy to let her know that I am going to be sending a letter.
Okay. Are you optimistic that the military will agree to this pause? Because
I'm an optimist. Chris, I'm optimistic that they will.
Activist groups also pushed for the governor to call for a pause, but now the question is, will the military honor the request? Monica Flores of Independent Guahan and Bertay Latexan.
The military has been very clear that stalling the construction is going to stall the transfer, the relocation of Marines to Guam. And so I think the priority is definitely construction.
I can voice my concern and say, I object, or I would like to have a pause here. It's on record that the governor of Guam, backed by the community, has made this statement, and then now it becomes a good faith political kind of issue.
While the recent concerns about the discovery of ancestral sites and artifacts on built-up construction properties has been the focus of calls by activists, senators, and recently fired State Historic Preservation Officer Linda Uggan to hold the military accountable, the governor said she'll be calling for a pause because of the Cerianthes nelsoni, a critically endangered tree smack dab in the middle of what will be the live fire training range. Recently, the governor praised the military for what she called their efforts to preserve and protect the tree.
There's been DNA studies being done to really determine whether this endangered, rare tree that is the only tree in Guam that can reproduce, whether it is really that rare species. And I'm told that is going to come back in December.
Since the programmatic agreement relative to the Marine base and the firing range is a done deal, does the governor of an unincorporated territory of the U.S. have the authority to halt construction?
My authority goes as far, I think, as what's negotiated. I can certainly make the ask, which is I am going to make the ask. Whether they decide to do it or not is a different story.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Thanks, Chris. In other news, the Guam Power Authority announced it has selected its winning bidder for the new power plant in Dededo. However, it did not disclose the company pending a mandatory protest period. GPA says the plant, to be built across the Micronesia Mall, will be more fuel efficient than any of the existing generators. It will use ultra-low sulfur diesel or natural gas. And another batch of checks will be placed in the mail today, specifically more than 1,300 tax refund checks totaling $4.3 million. This includes refunds that were garnished to repay government debts for error-free returns filed on or before February 5th. Stay connected via KUAM.com or the KUAM mobile news app. Follow us on any of the social media platforms and download our podcasts on the KUAM Podcast Network. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Jonagan Charfres.
Este na KUAM News Update sa presenta ni CHamoru Enterprises.